Okay, so we are live. Live. Jason,
Live.
it's really bright where I am and kind of dark where Jason is. It reflects
I live in a van down by the
down
river.
by the river. He's hibernating for the winter.
Yeah, can you tell?
Jason, I've been studying Norwegian on Duolingo.
Really?
Yeah, have you tried Duolingo?
Yes, I have.
Are you doing Spanish?
Sí.
How do you feel? How do you feel? Huh?
Hablas español, muy poquito.
How do you feel about it?
Bueno.
I'm on a 31-day streak, and then there's some funny things like "Jeg vet ikke hvem jeg er" means I don't know who I am, and then enden spiser ikke brød. Ducks do not eat bread. Or no, the funny one would be endene spiser ikke hesten. Ducks do not eat the horses. So, what's up, Jason? We've got an interesting topic today. It's going to be short and sweet, my friends. Yes, we're talking about the GDP. Yeah, you know me.
That's right. Big deal.
In Canada, Ontario, they have provincial police. So they have Ontario provincial police. So I'd always be like, we're done with OPP. What does that mean, Jason? What does that stand for?
Well, let me ask you a question before we do it. Do we want to run the intro?
Oh, you know what, Jason? You keep me on my toes. I think we do.
Showing up and participating today.
Be right back. Well, hello there. This is your realtor and lending team, Jason and Katie. We work in Metro Phoenix, Prescott. Actually, we can work all over Arizona. We do cool things like hold our fingers up and count stuff. We also do things like point and hold our hands in positions where it looks like we're talking about something really important. But the thing we do best is laugh. Oh, and we support you too. So thanks for joining us. We love your socks. I haven't created a new page just for us where it says, check this out. I haven't created a new page where it says, check this out. So I keep making our faces really big. Otherwise, we look like we're really far away and it's just like nothing around us. But yeah. I'm feeling all this pressure to create a new, I love this intro because I think it's awesome. But I'm like, God, it just doesn't, it's not all sparkly and professional. Like I mentioned this last week,
Perfectionist, you're a perfectionist.
I know. And then I'm like, when do I have the time to do it? You know what I mean? We need to get this out there and start getting sponsors, and then we can pay people to do this stuff for us.
Hey, if you would like to sponsor,
exactly. Actually, I can be monetized by Facebook. They sent me this thing, and so if there is a thing, there could be one at the bottom of this video when it comes up that it could give me stars.
Oh, stop!
Yeah, and it's like 99 cents a star or something. So you never know. You never know what these endeavors will lead to, my friend.
Public figure.
You know it. I'm public and I'm a figure. I have a figure. I don't know if I like it too much, but
Preach.
No, I'm good. Okay, so we're talking about that I always want to do. Yeah, you know me, the GDP.
The GDP.
What does that mean?
Well, so GDP is kind of a big deal in the economy, and it's especially a big deal right now. So GDP means gross domestic product, okay? The technical definition is that it measures the monetary value of final goods and services in an economy.
So does that include gas?
I don't know if gas is part of it.
Because gas prices are so high right now.
But it's not about prices. It's okay. The measure of the economy. It counts the output that's generated within the borders of the country. So it's their economic output.
Of what types of things?
Oh, goods, services, manufacturing, right? Like, so if we manufactured, a whole bunch of widgets, that's in the GDP, GDP really it's a measure of the size of the economy. It measures how big your economy is. So
does that tell us whether we're in a recession or not?
Well, when it's contracting, yes. So whenever the GDP number comes in and it's negative, it means that the economy actually shrank. And the bigger the economy, the more opportunity, the more money, all of that stuff. I mean, you want a big economy, and economists want the economy to be expanding. new opportunities, new everything like that. And so here's what's interesting. The reason why GDP, which will be released tomorrow, is such a big deal.
Dun, dun, dun.
First quarter and second quarter, the GDP has been negative, which
they call Q1 and Q2 for if people are ever seeing those terms out there.
Yeah. The reason why that's a big deal is because generally speaking, that would be the definition of a recession. So 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. In retrospect, they look back and say, yep, we were in recession, right? And there are several things that would suggest that the country is in recession. Now, tomorrow, GDP is going to be released for Q3, the third quarter, and it's a big deal. And there's a lot of different projections. Some people are projecting it's going to be a 0.1% growth. Some people are projecting it's as high as a 2% growth.
So that's a good thing.
It would, yeah. I mean, we all want the economy to grow. It's a good, but here's the thing: if that number is low, here's where it affects you and I in real estate. It means that the country really is most likely in recession. And if it's not in recession, they're going to declare a recession if that's negative, 3 consecutive quarters. And so what happens during times of recession, generally speaking, the pressure mounts on interest rates to fall. So if we enter recession territory, we've been worried about inflation. Inflation is why interest rates have been going up, right? Well, if we transition out of inflation and we end up moving over to recession, those higher interest rates that we've set, the pressure is going to be on those to come down. And that's where it could affect housing. It could affect all of those different things. So we're very interested to see what's going to happen tomorrow.
So who's the one that predicts all this if it's an entire nation type thing?
Well, it depends. There's a lot of people who predict it. Different banks. I mean, JP Morgan Chase will come out and say our estimate of GDP is this. The Federal Reserve itself will project or predict what GDP is. I mean, the prediction is it's kind of like opinions. Everybody has one. So
Oh, it's kind of like opinions, huh? Is that the phrase?
You see what I did there? I mean,
I always see what you did.
This is a PG show, okay?
Exactly. Mostly.
Occasionally.
I mean, we'll drop an F-bomb here and there.
We're teetering into PG-13, right?
It's kind of like an opinion. Everyone's got one. That just reminds me of the old Friends thing with Joey. It's like it's the point is moo. Did you just say moo? Yeah. It's like a cow's opinion. It doesn't matter. It's moo. And that makes sense.
That's right. So anyways, tomorrow that's coming out, and I think it's going to be a big deal, relative to, the market, the direction that things take. So, I mean, again, without getting too incredibly technical, just watch and see. The stock market is probably going to react tomorrow. It's going to be very, very volatile.
So let's just do this because we're not going to explain it. And honestly, if we did, I would be here like, because I'm not the numbers person. But so basically, we need this to be on a positive uptick, right? What are your predictions? What do you think, Jason?
Okay, that's a good question. I don't think it's going to be a terribly good number, to tell you the truth.
Do you think it's going to be negative?
I think it has a chance to be negative. If it's not negative, I think it's going to be very slightly positive. I don't think that a lot of the indicators or a lot of the projections that are estimating like a 2% growth, I just think they're optimistic. I think that the economy is slowing down. I think that housing, which is a huge driver of the economy, I think that that's going to be a bit of a weight on it. And so here's my prediction. You want my long-term prediction?
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. Rates right now are over 7%. They're like 7.25%. Okay. Because inflation is the issue. We're going to get a GDP number, in my opinion, tomorrow that's not going to be very good.
Okay.
I think that's going to be the first sign to the Fed that, hey, you know what? Maybe we have a bigger problem than inflation. And I think the markets will react. I think that it will be friendly to interest rates. I think it's bad for the economy. And then I think what's going to happen is we're going into the final months of the year, which is retail spending, right? Where we spend money around
Thanksgiving and Christmas,
holidays, all that stuff. I think those figures are going to be down this year from what it is that they've been. I think they're going to disappoint because I think people, and if you're watching this, comment and let us know what it is that you think.
Yeah.
I know our household is going to spend significantly less money this Christmas than we did last Christmas. And so I think that we're going to get to, the end of the holiday season. And I think they're going to report that retail spending was down. That affects companies. Your stock, for instance, in Target, is going to be worth less because people are spending less money at Target during the holiday season. That's going to take a hit, and investing in a stock is going to be a little bit more difficult because retail spending drives so much. And so I think that by the time you have that GDP figure, I think by the time you have retail spending, and then when we get to Q4 GDP, whenever they release that in January, I think that that's going to be another difficult, number to swallow. And I think at that point, you're going to see a lot of these predictions because Fannie Mae, for instance, is predicting interest rates to fall to 4.5% by the middle of next year. I think that's optimistic. I don't think they're going to fall to 4.5. But what I do think is they're going to recede from these sevens. They'll come down. And look, I think if we have interest rates that move back into the 5% range, even
even
as low as they were. Yeah, if rates do that, because again, people might start investing in bonds because inflation isn't the concern anymore, you're going to watch that kickstart housing a little bit. And I think it happens so much. Housing is what generally leads the economy out of recession. And I think all we need is a little bit of relief on interest rates for the real estate market to start picking up a little bit again. And I think that's going to be kind of the way that it goes. So we'll see. I could be totally wrong. If I knew these things for sure, if I had a crystal ball.
We could talk more about it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if we knew for sure what was going to happen, we'd have everybody watch our podcast.
We'd have a national show here.
What's going to happen with my love life? Well, let me tell you.
I'll tell you. Listen, do you have an opinion? Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of this is over my head. I'm going to be honest. And so we're going to do this live next week, you guys, on Wednesday at 6 p.m. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come on. We're just going to sit here. We're going to wait for you. And we want you to come with your questions. Of course, we'll have a topic to talk about, because what we'll probably talk about is, what does it mean to be in a recession? If we are, does that mean everybody's going to be in line for bread and things like that? I mean, there's a lot of things that people worry about that aren't what's going to happen.
Right.
But we do need to watch spending and stuff, I think. So I think for the housing industry and the mortgage industry, it's going to take a big dent. Yeah. And that's not fun for us, Jason.
No, it's not.
But we're going to continue to be fun people because we're here to support you.
We're here. We're here for the people.
And listen, we can't know until it happens, so there's no use stressing about it. I mean, I do it a lot. What if?
Well, hey, listen, here's the other thing I'll tell you about recession and tough times. The truth is, there are more millionaires that are created during times of recession and bust than there are times of boom, right? Because it requires you to, re-innovate, to rethink things, to
reset, right?
Yeah, and when you come out of that and growth starts to really take hold again, for the people who use it to their advantage, they find themselves in a very good position. So, I mean, look, recession is a scary word and it can be hard for a lot of people. It's hard if you get downsized and lose your job, right? Like, how am I going to pay my bills if I do not have a job?
Yeah.
That's generally what happens during times of recession. People get laid off because companies shed payroll, things like that. But I mean, not everybody loses their job. Sometimes it's pay cuts or whatever. But again, during those times, people figure out like, hey, my company isn't going to pay me this. This is kind of silly. Maybe that little side hustle I've been working on, I drop my focus into that and I come out of it. The next thing you know, I don't even need that crummy job anymore. There's just so many different things that happen,
And it's just figuring it all out. But, if it creates the most millionaires, let's just do that, Jason.
Yeah, let's just, that'll be, what? Why don't we make that next week on live? Like,
all right.
How to be a millionaire. Should we do that?
What's that millionaire mindset? Okay, so next week Jason will have better lighting. I'm giving him crap today about it.
Yes, he's killing me, guys. She's killing me. You know what?
Look at me.
Why don't you comment below and say, Jason, your lighting is terrible. It's okay. Or you know what? Katie's nuts. And your lighting is just fine because we can see you.
Well, of course they can see you, but they'd rather see you better. I would anyway. Because, you'll know by the end of the show because you all know what we talk about. But we're going to do a quick Weird in the News. So this is a weird one today. I had to go find another one. So let me get my specs out here. And
your spectacles, please.
My spectacles. And they're always very shiny because of the light up there. Okay, so this isn't the exact article that I found, but It should be good. And these stinking ads. Okay. So can you see this? Car reported stolen in 92, found buried at a California mansion. Buried.
What?
They buried the car. Yeah. So 3 decades after a car was reported stolen in Northern California, police are digging the missing convertible out of the yard of a $15 million area mansion built by a man with a history of arrests for murder, attempted murder, and insurance fraud. So,
Wow.
So 3 decades after it was reported stolen, so the convertible Mercedes-Benz filled with bags of unused concrete, which is strange, was discovered Thursday. Yeah. Although cadaver dogs alerted to possible human remains on Thursday, none had been found. More than 24 hours after technicians with the San Mateo County Crime Lab began excavating the car, they believed it was buried 4 to 5 feet deep in the backyard sometime in the 1990s. And then it was reported stolen in 1992. So they've been able to excavate the passenger side of the convertible, which was buried with its top down. And they also opened the trunk where they found more bags of unused cement. And then cadaver dogs were again brought back and made a slight notification of possible human remains. Is that not weird? So the family that lived at the property in the 1990s, which is when Atherton police believe the car was buried and that her father had died in 2015. I kind of skipped a little bit. The home was, I guess, left as the sprawling home with a pool and tennis court was built by Johnny E. Liu, a man with a history of arrests. His daughter, Jack Sarah told the San Francisco, so maybe she owns the house and that's why they're doing it. Yeah.
He was found guilty.
He was found guilty of murdering a 21-year-old woman. They reversed the conviction in 1968. In 1977, he was convicted of 2 counts of attempted murder. And in the late 1990s, he was arrested for insurance fraud after he hired undercover police officers to take a $1.2 million yacht out west of the Golden Gate Bridge and put it in the bottom. So we've heard that name come up. We've not confirmed through our sources that he, in fact, owned the vehicle. So the home and property is worth $15 million. As one of the wealthiest towns in the United States. This is in Silicon Valley up there. So the weird thing is that, I mean, I guess when you report a car stolen, if they don't find it, they don't find it. I mean, usually it's probably sold in Mexico. But so why would he bury what do you think? Why would he bury a car?
To report it stolen and collect the insurance money, right?
So that's okay. So typically, is there a lot of insurance money you can get for a car?
Depends on the car. I mean, if somebody stole your Ford Pinto, I doubt it. But I mean, if it's a nice Mercedes convertible, yeah, there's probably some money that you could get.
So I wonder why there's cement in there. I mean, like he'd have to get people to come in there. Like if you hire people and you're like, hey, dig a hole and put this car in it, and then it was never like talked about. It's a very odd story.
It's a crazy. You know what it is? It's going to be the next great Netflix miniseries somehow. They're going to research it and find out this crazy person who's killed people and tried to kill people. And this guy sounds like.
I know. And with the Dahmer thing that's out, have you watched Dahmer?
Yes.
So I keep hearing it's really scary and people connect to the characters. So it makes it really like heart-wrenching to watch a little bit.
You know, well, I connected to the dad. I mean, I felt.
Oh, yeah.
Bad. Did you? Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm too scared to watch it alone at night. But with this guy, I mean, they could, like you said, they could find out more murders that he's done and stuff. It's going to turn into this weird. Just watch, guys. It's going to turn into this weird, sensationalized story.
It's going to get odd. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
Exactly. So, anywho, Jason, whether you are sitting in dim lighting or not, there's something about you that I dig it. And you know what that is?
Let me guess. It would be my choice of foot apparel under my shoes, which is the same thing I love about you, friend.
When you said my choice, when I started hearing I thought you were going to say my chonies.
Oh, God.
Sorry, guys. It's not the chonies.
It's not the chonies.
I'm gonna put it up. Here's what it is. What? I love your
Katie,
socks.
you have the best socks in real estate.
You have the best socks in town, my friend. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
See you guys.
See you next week for the live show, 6 p.m. on
Live.
Wednesday, which is
Live.
November 1st, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Bye.